Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan and the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. The Sensex surges 2,500 points. The Nifty rallies over 700 as Dalal Street marks the biggest rally in 3 years. All sectoral indices end with gains. 14 lakh crore rupees added to market capitalization in a single day. Exit polls predict a thumping majority lift the mood at party offices of the BJP as it gears up for counting day tomorrow. The Congress party rejects the exit poll. Sonia Gandhi says she's hopeful that the results will be the opposite of what the polls predict. The Supreme Court dismisses a petition by the YSR Congress party challenging the relaxation of postal ballot norms in Andhra Pradesh. The Apex Court refuses to interfere with the Election Commission circular issued on the 30th of May.
On social media now you will see various memes with the taglines that perhaps Lapata gentlemen are back. So we were never out, we were always here.
We never went missing, says the Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar, hitting back at critics as India created a world record with over 64 crore voters exercising their franchise, admits that elections should not happen during the hot weather, promises to implement the same going forward. Maruti Suzuki and Tata Motors report a drop in passenger vehicle sales. In the month of May, two-wheeler sales also missed estimates, but tractors and commercial vehicles see a pickup in sales. More than 200 people across India have died due to suspected heat stroke since March. 45 deaths reported in a single day in Odisha. The weather department says the monsoon is progressing and parts of western and central India can expect rainfall in the next 4 to 6 days. More than 1 million people have been forced to flee Rafah as Israel intensifies its assault. 22 people killed in overnight attacks. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu accepts US President Biden's ceasefire plan while also calling it a bad deal. Far-right ministers threaten to topple the Israel government if it accepts Biden's plan.
Exit poll results over the weekend mean that we're going to start, according to the GIFT Nifty, with a 3% pop.
The results are clearly showing that there's going to be policy continuity.
On the capex theme, we went bullish about 3 years back.
Who cares whether it's 340 or as long as it is more than 272.
The important thing is to understand that this is an absolutely unprecedented time.
Markets are trading and the verdict is clear. It's a new all-time high, 23,300 plus.
People are sitting on cash or people are waiting to deploy. How do you do it?
It is quite encouraging to see the kind of GDP numbers which have been seen.
ICICI Bank from July of 2017 is the top performer on the Nifty Bank.
We have signed a MSA with MHD on the 31st of May this year.
This party which is starting with declaration of result is not going to be over just in a day or two.
Well, that was a record-breaking rally on Dalal Street with the exit polls predicting a thumping victory for the BJP. The Sensex and the Nifty gaining 3% today, marking the biggest single-day rally that we've seen in 3 years. The Sensex, 2,507 points higher, closing above 76,468. That was where the Sensex closed for the day. The Nifty up 733 points, a gain of 3%, closing above 23,263. The Nifty mid-cap 1,647 points added there, a 3% gain. The Nifty Bank, which has of course been an outperformer over the last few trading sessions, up by 4%, so almost a 2,000-point rally there on the Nifty Bank. All sectoral indices strong today. Shares on the BSE adding 14 lakh crore rupees in market capitalization on account of the rally today. All sectoral indices, as I pointed out, closing in the green. We will discuss the Nifty Bank rally in just a bit. But let's first go across to Prashant with the day's market wrap. It was expected, Prashant, on the back of what the exit polls are predicting. We did expect our markets to go in strong this Monday. And of course, as we count down to Super Tuesday, what is the market telling you in terms of how it's positioned?
A historic market reaction to what possibly can turn out to be a historic verdict from the electorate as well. So the exit poll results came through on Saturday evening, and everyone was preparing for this day, and today did not disappoint. We started with an 800-point gap up on the Nifty. The market cooled off a little bit for a while, spent most of the day then after that being up in a very substantial way. Towards close, it almost went back to the day's highest point as well. I mean, 750 odd points to close the day out. So not bad at all. New highs, of course, I don't think needs to be said. Bank Nifty again, I mean, sort of pierced past the 50,000 mark, 4% rally today, and was a big driver for what happened overall. Mid caps and small caps, a 2.5 odd percent kind of day. Sectorally, it was PSUs all the way. So the PSU Bank Index up big time, some 8%. You had the PSC Index, which is sort of outside of banks, again 7.5%, 8% gains there. And you had the Energy Index, which also has a lot of PSU names there, which look very, very good. I'll come to stocks from the large caps Nifty names. Adani Ports, Adani Enterprises, big gains today. You had gains coming through in names like SBI, Shriram Finance in the financial services space. Reliance was a 5% mover. There was NTPC, Power Grid, ONGC, BPCL, just to give you a flavor of the Nifty PSU sort of moves today. In the broader markets, good breadth in terms of advances to declines ratio. And again, it's a long list, so I'll tell you the really punchy stuff. REC, PFC, 12% each. GAIL, BOB, that's Bank of Baroda, BEL, Power Grid, HPCL, some of the big movers again in the PSU space. The Adani pack once again outside of the Nifty, Adani Green, Adani Total. There was L&T, DLF, JSW Energy. I mean, as I said, this is just a flavor of what went on, but I think the big gains on indices really tells you the story. I mean, the exit polls are in, and I think the market will be keenly waiting if the reality tomorrow matches up to the exit poll numbers. If that is the case, I mean, I think the momentum here is strong enough to take us a little bit higher even. Back to you.
Yes, well, do remember to tune into Super Tuesday, the counting day when all of CNBC TV 18's team, we will be analysing the numbers and, of course, decoding the market reaction right here starting 7:30 a.m. tomorrow, so do tune in. But let's talk about that Nifty Bank, which surpassed the 50,000 mark today. Hormuz is standing by with a journey to 50,000 and the big contributors to the rise. Hormuz.
The Nifty Bank has finally hit the mark of 50,000 after falling short by around 25 points last month, and it's been a fairly long journey over the last 6.5 years, which is when the Nifty Bank had first hit the mark of 25,000, and it has doubled from those levels. Now, if we take a look at the milestones, as I mentioned, the Nifty Bank had first hit the level of 25,000 in July of 2017, and then had to wait for a bit, and it was only in 2019 that it managed to add the next 5,000 points towards 30,000, and then after another prolonged wait of another close to 2 years that the Nifty Bank went up to 35,000. Remember, that was the period when we went to the lows of the COVID-19 pandemic and then recovered from those levels. And by October of 2021, the index managed to reach 40,000, and it is now, after a gap of just over 2 years, is when we have managed to hit that elusive mark of 50,000 on the Nifty Bank. So 6.5 years, the index has managed to double during this time frame. Now, what are the stocks that have contributed to this move? And ICICI Bank is the top contributor there. The stock has more than tripled during this period, 265% returns there. SBI is the second best performer. AU Small Finance Bank, a recent inclusion in the Nifty Bank, but that stock has also doubled over the last 6.5 years. Another one in that list is Axis Bank. HDFC Bank makes an entry here, 71% gains during this period, and Bank of Baroda rounds off the list of gainers. But there are some underperformers during this period as well, and IndusInd Bank is one of them. Punjab National Bank down 16%, and Bandhan Bank, whose shares have halved from those levels. Remember, Bandhan Bank listed in around 2018, but shares have halved from those levels. Now, if you take a look at the point contributors, and ICICI Bank, by virtue of being the top contributor and its weightage on the index, that has contributed almost 40% to that rally from 25 to 50,000. HDFC Bank and SBI contributing around 20%, and Axis and Kotak also chipping in with handy gains. Now, the Nifty Bank had hit 40,000 on October of 2021, and since then it's been PSU banks that have led the rally, along with a combination of private banks, of course, but PSU banks being the dominant force here. Bank of Baroda and PNB almost tripling from October of 2021. Federal Bank is one of those private banks that have done well during this period with gains of around 75%. SBI also makes a list here, the stock making new highs in today's session as well, and IDFC First, the other private bank that has done well. The private banks, the other ones, the larger private banks, are the underperformers in this list, and HDFC Bank makes an entry here, as does Kotak Bank and Bandhan Bank being the top underperformer from October of 2021. And lastly, the point contributors here as well. ICICI Bank continues to lead the charge during this period as well, 45% of those gains coming from there. SBI, Axis, Bank of Baroda and PNB contributing to the gains as well. Now, that was the list there from October of 2021. The stocks doing well for themselves, and the Nifty Bank has finally managed to hit the mark of 50,000.
All right, Hormuz, many thanks. Now, less than 24 hours to go for the election verdict. Exit poll predictions, as we've been telling you, influencing the mood across party offices. The offices of the BJP are gearing up to celebrate after exit polls predict not just a victory, but a thumping majority. Now, if the BJP-led NDA forms the next government, Prime Minister Modi will equal former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's record of a hat-trick of Lok Sabha victories. Remember, Narendra Modi, as the Gujarat Chief Minister, had never lost a state election. At the Congress party offices, large LED screens are being erected to screen the election results. The party has rejected the exit poll. Speaking to the media today, Sonia Gandhi said she is hopeful that the results are the opposite of what the exit polls predict. So what can we expect tomorrow? Parikshit is standing by with a ready reckoner ahead of the big verdict tomorrow. Parikshit, all eyes now on Super Tuesday. Bright and early, of course, we're going to all be here tracking the action. But what should we expect, and how soon should we start to see the ticker coming in with the numbers?
Well, the counting of postal ballots will begin by 7 a.m. and I expect the first trends to start coming in by 8 a.m. It's been a fierce election, Shireen, as we've been saying all this while. The NDA is targeting 400 plus. The India Alliance says they will win 295 plus. In 2019, the BJP contested 436 seats and won 303. The Congress contested 421 and won 52. The DMK contested 24 and won 24, and it is an important part of the India Alliance. The TMC contested 62, won 22. The YSR contested 25 and won 22. How TMC and DMK perform will be crucial. Now, when you talk about the vote share in 2019, the BJP had 38% vote share, the Congress 20%. The BJP secured 22.9 crore votes and the Congress 11.9 crore votes. Out of the 421 seats contested, the Congress won 52 and its candidates in 148 seats lost their deposits. The BJP, out of 436 seats, won 303 and the party's candidates had their deposits forfeited on 51 seats. Now, in terms of alliances, the NDA secured 353, the UPA 91 and others 98. Here's how the big parties performed in 5 states with the highest seats in 2019. In 2019, out of 80 seats in UP, the NDA won 64, the BSP 10, the Samajwadi Party 5, the Congress 1. In Maharashtra, out of 48 seats, the NDA won 41, with the undivided Sena, UPA 5, the AIMIM 1 and others 1 seat. Now, coming to Bengal with 42 seats, TMC won 22, the BJP 18, the Congress 2. In Bihar, out of 40 seats, the NDA won 30 and the UPA 1. Finally, in Tamil Nadu, out of 39, UPA won 38 and AIDMK 1 and no seats for the BJP. Let's look at how exit poll predictions for the same 5 states now. UP, NDA expected to increase its seat share to 68-71. India Alliance too could increase its numbers to 9-12. In Maharashtra, out of 42 seats, the NDA tally could come down to 32-35. And for the India bloc, the numbers could be between 15 and 18. For West Bengal, out of the 42 seats, the BJP could win higher numbers in 24 with 21-24 seats. The TMC tally could fall with 18-21. The Congress is expected to win just 1 seat. In Bihar, out of 40, the NDA could win 31-34, which means that their seat tally could come down. The India bloc could win 6-9. For Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, the NDA is expected to win 1-3 seats, which would be an achievement in itself. The India Alliance 36-39, primarily because of the DMK, and AIDMK 0-2. On an all-India basis, the NDA could win 355-370, the India Alliance 125-140, and others 42-52. This would translate into a vote share of roughly 47% for the NDA, 33% for the India Alliance, and 20% for others. Those are the key findings of the News 18 exit poll.
Well, thanks very much, Parikshit. That was a very comprehensive wrap of where things are. versus 2019. And of course, we will, as I pointed out, keep you updated on the election results Super Tuesday. It is on your election hub, CNBC TV 18. On the eve of counting day, the Election Commission holding a press conference. The Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar hitting back at critics, saying the poll body, and I quote, never went missing, and it communicated with voters through more than 100 press notes. Flanked by the two election commissioners, the CEC also spoke about lessons learned from this 44-day-long 7-phase election. One such lesson is to not hold future elections in such extreme heat. According to reports, the heat wave has claimed the lives of over 200 people, including dozens who were on election duty.
On social media now you will see various memes with the taglines that perhaps Lapata gentlemen are back. So we were never out, we were always here. This was first time that we have issued close to 100 press notes which has never been done ever. Advisories and all put together is total 100. So we have been interacting from behind the scene. चुनाव हमें कम से कम एक महीने पहले खत्म कर देना चाहिए, इतनी गर्मी में नहीं जाना चाहिए. This is one learning for us, which we want to keep for us. ये false narrative को लड़ने के लिए we should be far more prepared. भी एक learning का पार्ट है कि elections गर्मी से थोड़ा पहले होनी चाहिए और Friday और Monday को भी नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि बहुत लंबा ब्रेक मिलता है.
Well, that is the Chief Election Commissioner on the lessons learned, two important ones, saying that shouldn't hold the elections in this peak summer month. Remember, we're in June and we just about finished the election. And secondly, perhaps not to stretch it out as much with weekends. A lot of the elections this time around were on the weekends as well. Now, the Supreme Court has rejected Jagan Reddy-led YSR Congress plea challenging the Election Commission's circular on relaxing postal ballot norms in Andhra Pradesh. The YSR Congress had moved the Supreme Court this morning after the Andhra High Court dismissed their plea. Today, the Apex Court held that it sees no ground as to why they should interfere with the Election Commission's circular. Around 5 lakh votes were cast in Andhra Pradesh via postal ballots. Ashmit standing by with more. Ashmit, take us through the arguments made to the Apex Court and why the Supreme Court has chosen not to intervene.
Well, even before the election results are announced, a bit of a setback coming in for Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSR CP. This time, it's a legal setback coming in from the Apex Court. Now, here are the facts of the case. As per the conduct of election rules, postal ballots which are cast require to be attested, verified, as well as sealed. However, on May 30th, the Election Commission came out with a circular which provided for a relaxation, a dilution of these rules, saying that only a signature of an authorized officer should be sufficient. Now, this was contested by Jagan Mohan Reddy, first before the AP High Court, then here before the Apex Court. And the question that was raised is that, number one, why has this exception been carved out only for the state of Andhra Pradesh? This dilution, this circular is effective only in the state of Andhra Pradesh. The question that was raised is the very neighboring state of Telangana will not require these rules. Why this exception being carved out only for the state of Andhra Pradesh? The second question that was raised is that why has this been done by the Election Commission bang in the middle of the elections on May 30th? There is no justification of that. If there was a requirement felt by the Election Commission for dilution of these rules, it could have been done much earlier. And finally, the third question that was raised is that in a number of cases, the entire fate of elections of various candidates have been decided by way of these postal ballots. Now, these were the arguments extended. The Apex Court, however, did not find merit in them, saying that it sees no grounds for consideration, it sees no grounds for intervention, it sees no grounds for setting aside of this circular, and with that, the application by Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSR CP being dismissed by the Apex Court.
मेजॉरिटी ऑफ दी केसेस में वो पहले खत्म हो जाएंगे, ये भी बताया. तीसरे ये भी बताया कि मिड कोर्स हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते और चेंज करने का कोई लॉजिक होना चाहिए, शक कोई आधार नहीं हो सकता. मैंने आपको पिक्चर्स में दिखाया था कि कितनी एफएसटीज कितनी एसएसटीज लगी हुई थी. ये एक उनका जो एक्स्ट्रा विजिल है उसमें जो भी गलत हो रहा है वो पकड़ में आ जाता. एक तो स्ट्रिक्टनेस और दूसरे अवेयरनेस. इसीलिए आपको इस बार इस तरीके की पिक्चर्स और इस तरीके के न्यूज़ देखने को नहीं मिली कि यहाँ ये बट रहा था जैसे मैंने बताया.
So no relief there for the YSR Congress. And we are all set for Super Tuesday. Our Result Day programming starts at 7:30 in the morning. We bring you the key analysis of all the polling trends, the top market voices, the big political leaders, only on CNBC TV 18. So tune in to your market an election hub starting 7:30 a.m. The Sikkim Krantikari Morcha has retained power in the state with a landslide victory. It's won 31 of the 32 seats in the state. Former CM Pawan Kumar Chamling's Sikkim Democratic Front was reduced to a single seat. Chamling, who still remains India's longest-serving chief minister, lost from both the seats that he contested. Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang said that SKM is still part of the BJP-led NDA. The results of the assembly elections in Arunachal Pradesh, BJP has returned to power, securing 46 out of the 60 seats. This included 10 seats that they had won unopposed. The National People's Party has bagged 5 seats. The Congress won just 1. We will head into a break, but up next, milk gets costlier after brands like Amul and Mother Dairy increase milk prices by 2 rupees a litre. That and more when we return. Amul and Mother Dairy have increased prices of milk by 2 rupees a litre. This price change will be effective from today. Amul says the company increased prices due to the increase in production cost and operations. Shilpa standing by now with the details. Shilpa, take us through what both Amul and Mother Dairy have said in terms of this price hike.
Well, consumers will now have to pay anywhere between 2 to 3 rupees more for milk, with both the major dairy companies, Amul and Mother Dairy, raising their prices. Other companies are also expected to follow suit. Now, the current increase, which translates to about 3 to 4% hike in the MRP, comes into effect today. So, the basic milk pouch variant of Amul, for instance, will cost 56 rupees per litre as against 54 rupees earlier. Now, this price increase comes on the back of rising production and operation costs for dairy companies. And this usually includes things like rising procurement prices, rising cattle feed and transportation prices, among others. In fact, Mother Dairy has also said that the unprecedented summer heat that we've seen across the country is also likely to further impact milk production. Now, it's important to note that April to September is anyway considered a lean season for milk production, as the flush season ends in May and in March. And these price hikes also come after the industry has seen milk prices decline 18% as of the last quarter, year on year. But now, from the last quarter, they have slowly started inching up. And Amul, which is usually the first to hike prices, had last hiked them in February 2023. And now, to compensate farmers with the rising prices, they have decided to hike prices again. Back to you.
All right, so that's Amul and Mother Dairy hiking prices of milk. And as Shilpa was pointing out, we are expected to see others follow suit. Shilpa, it's also good to have you back with us post your maternity leave. And speaking of hikes, the government will increase road toll charges across the country by 3 to 5%. NHAI officials have said that the revision is in accordance with changes in inflation. The annual revision was expected to come into effect on the 1st of April. However, this was deferred on account of the Lok Sabha elections. The changes will come into effect today, so higher toll charges too. Several incidents of bomb scares on flights are being reported over the last few days. Today, Akasa Air's Delhi-Mumbai flight carrying 186 passengers was diverted to Ahmedabad due to security reasons after it received a bomb threat on board. All of these threats, fortunately, have turned out to be hoax calls. Now, my colleague Madiha joins us to take us through the implications such acts have on airlines, passengers in particular, as well as other stakeholders. Madiha, many thanks for joining us. A spate of these hoax calls over the last few days, and obviously anxious passengers, anxious families waiting for information, but also the inconvenience and the escalation of costs as far as airlines and other stakeholders are concerned.
Rightly said, Shireen, one notorious activity disturbs the entire ecosystem that supports airline operations. As soon as the crew detects a threat, they immediately inform the pilot, and the pilot then informs the air traffic controller. The ATC then informs the airport, and the airport informs all other stakeholders, who then mobilize resources like security officials, bomb disposal squad, sniffer dogs, and in some cases, emergency evacuation systems. The plane is taken to isolation bay. day. Now, all passengers and their luggage is screened thoroughly. So not just inconvenience, but it also causes anxiety to the crew and the passengers. This entire process takes at least 3 hours. Now, this one flight that's delayed has a cascading effect on the other flights that the aircraft was scheduled to operate. For example, if one plane is assigned to fly on 6 sectors in a day, and if the bomb threat is detected on the first flight, then all the remaining 5 flights will get delayed by 3 hours. So considering one flight has at least 200 passengers, then about 1,200 passengers will be severely affected. This definitely costs the airline financially, like it will have to provide refunds and refreshments to passengers who don't want to take the flight, provide compensation to passengers who've missed connecting flights from other sectors, provide rescheduling to passengers who want another flight, and provide hotel accommodation to passengers who are flying the next day. So such large-scale impact for completely frivolous acts that unfortunately cannot be taken lightly. Like on 2nd of June, Vistara's Paris to Mumbai flight had a handwritten note which was found on an air sickness bag threatening a bomb. Then on the 1st of June, on Indigo's Varanasi-Delhi flight, a female caller told Delhi airport that her husband is carrying a bomb in his handbag. On 28th May, Indigo's Delhi-Varanasi flight, a tissue paper reading bomb at 5:30 was found in the lavatory. Again on 15th May, Air India Express Delhi-Vadodara flight, a tissue paper with bomb written on it was found in the lavatory. Now, all these cases were confirmed as hoax calls, but they did put the entire ecosystem into distress.
Absolutely, and these are things that one cannot take lightly, but unfortunately, as we've been pointing out, there should be serious action taken against people who are behind these hoax calls and these false threats. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. But before we go, a quick note, a daily wrap of the top headlines will hit your inbox every day before you call it a night. The CNBC TV 18 Top 10 at 10 daily newsletter on LinkedIn, featuring the top 10 stories of the day from markets, corporate updates, economic insights and financial highlights. Subscribe now and get the CNBC TV 18 edge. For now, the news continues right after this short break.